So my name is Evan Lemmerman, and I'm the SPED at Hunt Valley Elementary School.
And I'm Courtney Alt. I'm the ART at Hunt Valley and at Orange Hunt.
And I'm Lynn Martin, the SPEDs at Orange Hunt Elementary.
So we want to talk to you about our proposal that we did this year. We decided to do a collaboration between two different schools because we share the same AR teacher. And we did it with Orange Hunt and Hunt Valley. We received 2 carts in each school to work with our AAP students in both 4th, 5th, and 6th grade. And so we want to talk to you how we started this and some of the successes that we had and some of the pitfalls that we came across and some information about what the students felt about it. So first of all, the first thing we did was separate into quarters. Our first quarter we decided that we were going to focus on Scratch, and we focused on that with our 5th grade students and our 6th grade students. And we introduced coding to the kids. And tell me about the student learning in that project. What do you guys think about that? Okay? How'd that work out?
It worked out really well. We used the concepts of Rube Goldberg and having a simple task made much more challenging, which would have been the pieces of the coding makes the actual video very complicated.
The students had to come up, they had to, their character had to have sunglasses on.
They had a task.
Their
task was to hammer in a nail, put on a pair of sunglasses, and how they got to that endpoint was completely up to them, which is one of the examples of things that we do in AAP where it's kind of left open for them to interpret how they want to, where they want to go, how they want to travel.
And that's where they could bring in all the creativity they wanted to and make their task of, for us, putting on the sunglasses as difficult as possible, as lengthy as possible, and some were a little shorter than others, and some were quite elaborate in how they put their coding together.
If you put it on 240, it'll go all the way to the other side, right? Do you want to see if it works? So, would you like that better?
But it was really powerful learning because as we reviewed and we looked at their script and their coding that they used, they were giving examples of, oh, you could have done it this way, or I figured out how to do it in a shorter or easier.
When backdrop switches to city with water, I said glide for 4 seconds to X and Y. Then I said switch backdrop to urban. And then when backdrop switches to urban, it'll do all this.
Project, so that was really neat.
So focusing on the 21st century skills, we were focusing on that collaboration piece with that. We were teaching both classes at both schools how to do it, but we also figured out that we could do a collaborative Blackboard account. So we set that up with all students enrolled in it.
So all of my 4th, 5th, and 6th graders were all enrolled in one common Blackboard site.
From both schools. So that was really nice to be able to have that avenue to kind of set up some of the tools in Blackboard. Like we used the journaling, so the students had to journal before and after every
about
class.
Things that they learned, things that were like wow moments, challenges that they had.
We also set up a discussion board, so and that was designed so that students could share and could ask questions of each other in both schools, and they could actually post pictures of coding problems they were having. They could share what they were doing with the coding, and they actually did some replies and
solving each other's problems.
So we wanted to kind of set that up as kind of like a forum for the kids. We also set up a notebook of different tasks they had to complete to learn. Okay, so it was kind of self-guided learning too, with videos on there as well.
That's how.
And so that really helped out to kind of build that online learning, which was also not always in the classroom. So it was kind of nice to have the collaboration going back and forth because they couldn't see each other. These classes were going on at different times, different days. Then the next quarter we worked on, I know that with
we worked on
VoiceThread
with 4th grade, and that was really exciting. It was the first time they'd ever come across VoiceThread, and they enjoyed the commenting, the videos, and we used that with our document-based questions. And they've gone back to their own classrooms and they talked to their teachers about it. And I have teachers asking me, so what is this VoiceThread? And you've actually had teachers come and ask about being trained on that.
Definitely.
So that's been very valuable.
So,
and then in our final group, our 6th graders, we're working on the Great Debate Project, which has been very challenging for all of us. They have been paired up with a partner from another school or another classroom, and they took a survey so they could have a common topic that I was able to pair them up with. And
So we were using Google Apps.
we were
mainly
using
for
Google
this.
Apps for this.
So
This
So
was
everybody
really
had to get
fantastic.
actually trained in both schools
Yes.
and get their accounts set up ahead of time so that we could actually get them sharing. And we decided that they were going to work totally
Yes.
collaboratively.
Virtually.
Virtually.
Yes.
So we just jumped right off.
Right.
Said, let's try
And it
So-
was really, really challenging. They all introduced each other by using avatars, so that was our first step.
Yep.
Remember how we did that? And
Yes. And
we
posted
posted
to
those onto Blackboard.
Yeah, right.
And when I told them who their partners were, they went back to that Blackboard site and looked at
Looked
the
at the person.
avatars so they would know who it was that they were paired up
Yes.
with, which was really exciting.
Yeah.
Good.
And then they were given their topic and they started researching virtually. We were doing all of this on Google Apps. We had a spreadsheet where they kept track of their debate points,
Yeah.
both the pros and the cons, and then they created their script based on their debate points.
Right.
Now they're currently working on their avatars and using pictures of historical people to debate the topic, and they're recording their voices as the historical characters, so we have some very fancy accents
Oh, I'm
being
sure.
used.
Yeah.
And we're loading all of that onto Google Apps so that it's in a common place, and then we will put all of those avatars together to create one
One movie.
with their
With
debate.
Movie Maker. So
Yeah.
there's been a great deal of technology used.
A lot, yes.
They've used, let me see, there's Blackboard extensively.
Mm-hmm.
They've used Scratch, they've used VoiceThread, they've used doing Snagit, they've used Movie Maker, they used the Avatar Creator, and Google Apps, every single
Right,
portion of it.
right.
We used forms to get information from it, which was really great.
And-
So we had like a before and after as well.
Yes.
So that's
Yes.
been nice too.
And I know
Data.
for us at our school, we actually set up a folder on our server for them to
to access.
save things to,
So,
yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So for teaching practice, I mean, and how it affected me was that I just finally realized that really I could just open up these questions to these students, and this is the higher level AP students that we're working with, but it really can transfer to every single student.
Right.
I know for a fact
Yes.
that we could bring this and transform it into the regular classroom.
Absolutely.
Okay, without a doubt that any student can do this
Yes.
at their level. But the collaboration with Google Docs, I was kind of hesitant how they would do. Working at different times and
Yes.
being able to try and catch up with all the snow days, which was one big factor
One of the
this-
biggest, yeah.
this year.
In our hectic schedules
And
and
the
us
different
being out
schedules.
of the building for different
And
things.
a chance for me to actually talk to Orange Hunt a little bit more is nice, and I went over there and I was able to talk with their students too, and so
Yes.
that was helpful as well. I think more of that next year would be nice too.
It would be really nice if we would be able to have the kids actually meet face to face.
Yes.
Well, that's a possibility.
Yeah.
I don't see why,
Yeah.
let's
We
walk
could
down.
be-
I know, well,
certainly
that's the
plan
thing.
Not a
Yeah,
problem with
yeah.
that. So maybe we'll try and incorporate that.
Something
Yes.
like that,
Yeah.
yes.
Because we're not done, because there are only
No.
2 quarters
Yeah.
are done of the project. We have 2 quarters next year.
Yes.
We didn't get the computers till December, so getting them
We
ready
still
in
have time to.
January.
Mhm.
Well, definitely some twists and turns on this, and
Yeah.
then we'll start with new kids next year, so
Yes.
it'll be nice.
Yeah.
So we're still going to continue the project. I think the impact, my biggest impact is that we have a lot of experts that are now being like kind of ambassadors to the classroom.
Absolutely.
And that's going to be helpful
Yes.
too.
Because when you introduced Google Apps
Yes.
with the 6th graders, we had already,
We had done it, and same thing, because we're using Google Apps with the Global Awareness Project, so there were students from 5th grade that had been into Google Apps, so they were, prepared and ready to go for both things. Yeah.
So excited for next year?
Yes.
Very
Okay,
excited.
so we're going to
Yes.
continue. Thank you very much for the technology, and we're going to show you a little bit of pictures of the kids working.
Yes.
Okay?
thank you.
So can you tell me what you're finishing right now? What are you working on?
Well, we're doing the post-assessment for the Scratch on Google Docs, and well, there was a pre-assessment, and now we're doing the post-assessment since we're done.
Okay, what kind of questions did it ask you?
Well, the first one says, "What have you learned about the coding process?" And creating the project has really helped us learn about that.
This is so weird.
So what are you doing right now?
I'm looking at avatars from Orange Hunt to get to know them, and I'm seeing a lot of familiar faces.
Which ones you're most interested in, okay? Yep, so whatever choice you would like to have as your top choice, you're gonna label that number 1, 2, and then 3, and then leave 7 of them blank. Okay? Yes, submit when you're done. Yes.
What is inevitable?
Inevitable means it was going to happen whether you wanted it to or not.
So you just got assigned an assignment to work with another student, an AEP, at Orange Hunt Elementary School. And so you're going to have to work on this individually, virtually. Tell me what you think about that, and what are some concerns you have maybe, or thoughts you have about this project.
I think that an upside of this project is you get to meet someone new that you don't know and you get to work with them. And what's cool about it is since it's on Google Docs, you can have conversations and it makes things easier. It's just like texting, but on a computer, so.
I'm kind of nervous about this project because I'm not really sure how we're going to communicate really well. And we might have different ideas and we try to express them. But we can't talk to each other face to face. And
So you can't get like an instant feedback.
yeah,
from
and we're
your
not
partner.
working at the same time. So it's going to be really hard.
So one of the reasons we're doing this project is because we don't have classes at the same time. There's no way to do FaceTime or Skype. And so you're going to have to work around those difficulties. Do you think in real life jobs that this might occur as well? Can you think of anything where?
Definitely.
Do you think you'll be able to use this in the future?
I
This technology?
definitely think I would be able to use this in the future. It's a new opportunity to make friends at a different school. It's
Without speaking face to face.
yeah, it's also a new skill to develop. Being confident about talking to someone you've never met before.
Do you do that in your real life right now?
Yes, I do.
I figured you probably were on the internet and doing things, right?
Yeah.
Chatting with people.
Social
Good.
media.
Social media. Okay, great. Thank you very much.